Rosie from Claritystamp. Today I want to talk to you about gridwork, perhaps doing a template. So if you've admired all that beautiful lacy gridwork, maybe you've had a go and you get 3/4 of the way around and you make a mistake and you think, there is a way around that. What we can do is we make a template. So starting from the beginning, maybe you've looked at a gridwork pattern in a book or a magazine and it's a series of dots, isn't it? So I've got some dots here. And it's great fun to make up your own. When you're going to cut crosses for lace work, they're pretty much made up of 4 holes, 4 perforations. So if you're going to make up your own, then maybe just make patterns with 4 dots for perforations. So I've had a bit of a play. I have a lot of templates. In fact, I actually have a file with them in, templates. And what that is it's the pattern, the dotty pattern, and then it's also then the perforated grid pattern, which is what we're going to do now. So I'm just going to pop that onto the side. I'm going to work from this one, which is one that I've made earlier. Now, all I've done so far is just with the felt tip, I've just made the grid pattern, and I'm going to be able to continue that onto parchment. So what you need to do is choose the grid that you're using. I'm going to use our A4 bold straight grid. To me, this is the easiest grid to use. We do it in other sizes as well. We've got the borders, we've got the A5 square plates on this as well. It's your choice, but this is the one I'm going to use today. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some parchment onto my grid. Now I'm going to attach it with a Groovi tab initially, and I have another one of those actually. And then what I'm going to do then, this is the template, I don't need to worry about my tumble dryer sheet. I'm going to use 3 perforating tools. I'm going to use the 1 needle bolt, the 2 needle bolt and the 4 needle bolt. And I know which tools they are because on the end of all of the Pergamano tools, it actually tells you exactly which tool it is. So I'm going to start with the 2 needle bolt. I think I'm going to follow this pattern that I've got here. So it starts with 2 perforations. So we'll start here. 2 perforations. I'm going to miss 1 square and I'm going to do another 2. Miss 1 square, do another 2 all the way along the line. Now, if you need a squared paper, we've got a download available for you. So it means that you've got everything you need then to practice your own grid patterns. So I would continue that. That would be the top row done. Next row, well, I'm actually going to go over 1 square and then I'm going to go down 2. So miss 1, down 2, miss 1, down 2, miss 1, down 2, and work your way around like that. Now, can you hear that sort of pinging? That means I need to dip my tool in the Pergasoft. So let's just pop that into there. And now that I've dipped that, I think we'll move on to the 4 needle bolt actually. So let's move over to the 4 needle. Great tool, this one. And I like the fact that you've got 4 needles because referring to my pattern, I'm sort of going to plot those 4 and then I'm going to perforate the next 4 and the following 4. Then I'm going to plot it again and then I'm going to perforate, I'm going to plot and then perforate. So I'm sort of breaking it down into little chunks that I can cope with, and it's a lot of fun to do. You need to have a play with it. Next row down, let's go back to that 2 needle again, and we're going to move under that one. And we're going to miss 1, we're going to go 2, miss 1, go 2, miss 1, go 2, and work our way along. So what you don't need to worry about is actually making a mistake, because this is your template. So if you make a mistake, as I have done there on this, all you need to do is get one of your pergoliners, and I don't want that perforation, I don't want that perforation. So when I start using this, I'm going to entirely avoid those perforations. So it's going to take me quite a while to continue this gridwork pattern along. So if you wanted to pop off, maybe get a cup of tea, then now's the time to do it, and I'll join you soon. Hello again, thanks for coming back. Now I've completed my gridwork template there, and can you see I've written on it a little code. Now when you've got as many templates as I have, that's a really important thing to do, so I'm just going to write that on my dotty pattern as well. So that's number 712 There we go. And then I know that when they're filed, if I do lose them, they're all perfect then. Now, one thing I forgot to mention and that I've done on this is locating lugs. When you perforate through parchment, you can pop it back on the grid and it sort of doesn't move. But now I'm going to put a new sheet of parchment on. I want to ensure that it's not going to move. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop some locating lugs in it. So let's just pop it on with Groovi tabs for a moment. And then 4 needle bold. I'm going to need my Groovi guard because this is my finished piece now. Just put a series of holes off your page where it's not going to affect your pattern at all. And by creating these little perforations, the parchment's going to be forced into the holes of the grid and it's going to enable it to stay a little bit more securely. So even though we've got the Groovi tabs on, it's these that are pretty much going to hold it in place. So that's going to hold my parchment quite securely on there. It's time now to lay my template over it. So can you see the little mistakes? We can ignore those entirely. I need to make sure that my template holes are lining up with some of the holes in the grid below and that they stay lined up. So what I'm going to do is I've got some pins and needles. So let's have some pins out. And I'm going to go to the corners and I'm going to pop a pin through the template and I'm going to find one of the holes below. And then what I also want to do is I want to work along. Now the thing you want to make sure you don't do is move lines on this. So if you can't get through, just sort of work your way along, perforating a few holes, because what you don't want to do is join it up to the line above. So okay, play nicely. That one, there we go. That one's lined up. Is that one lined up? Play nicely, play nicely. Let's pop it in there. And again, let's work our way down here. Make sure that it's lining up with the holes. And we can leave those pins in. So let's just move along. And we can perforate around them. Now, whether you want to perforate using the 4 needle tool again, or the 2 needle, or maybe the 1 needle bold. 1 needle bold you might find a little bit easier because you're not trying to relocate 4 needles. So all you're actually going to do then is work your way around your design. Doesn't matter if you've got your hands on top of it because this is your template, so it's not your finished article. Now the benefit of making the template is that actually you can recreate this design relatively easily as many times as you'd like to, until the parchment rips, of course. The little red dots of perga colour, that's the bit we ignore. That's the bit we don't want to perforate. And so all you need to do then is just work your way around. Because you've put those pins in, it means that your parchment is going to stay in place and it's on the same line, so you're not going to go off. And it means then that actually when you're reperforating your grid work, as you are here, you can sit and have a chat as well. So that's really great. Now again, it's going to take me a few minutes to get around this. So if you want to talk amongst yourselves for a little bit, and I'll join you soon. Thank you for coming back again. I've now finished it, so you can see that I've got my template numbered. I've got my original pattern there as well. And then what I've got now is I've got a frame that now I can put a Groovi design in, and this frame I can recreate as many times as I wish. I can now put the embossing within that frame as well, whether I want to use the grid or whether I want to do freehand embossing. It's my choice now. I hope that's made it a little bit clearer, and I hope you enjoy your grid work. Thanks for watching. Bye.